Good people, it's So Wig out here, and today we're going to be talking more about the thin part wig, but a little bit more in depth about how to make sure you're not getting taken advantage of and purchasing what you think is a thin part wig or maybe a high-end replica, and really you fell for the okie doke. And so right now what I'm wearing is the newest thin part wig. This one is Jennifer, y'all. Look at that texture. Oh, it is entirely glorious. And what we're gonna do in this video is look at this one that's installed, and we're gonna look at a couple of companies because unfortunately, there are a few out there that are talking about having a thin part wig. If you're wanting a true thin part wig, it has to come from the originator, which is Innovative Weaves and Wigs. So right now, I'm wearing the newest. It's called Jennifer. You can see it, it's super full from beginning to end. From the roots to the end, it is just glorious, magnificent hair, right? And so right now I left out a very thin amount of hair, which is why it's called the thin part wig. And there's a couple of reasons why the thin part wig is so innovative. One of them is because you leave out at least 90% less hair than you would with a U-part wig. So that's the case right now. I have my wig installed, and I've left out just a very small amount of hair on both sides. And then I just kind of blended it in there, okay? So this is how much hair I've left out total. And then it's nicely blended, right? So what I have in my hand, it's two wigs from two separate companies that are proclaiming that they have the thin part wig. And so what we're gonna do is compare them so that you know that you're getting a thin part wig when you're ordering it and that you're not getting one if you're getting it from a different company. So right here, one of the first things that we're gonna talk about is the top. Now, with the thin part wig, the reason I need such a small amount of hair out is because this top actually mimics the roots of your natural hair. And so because of that, it doesn't take a whole lot in order to cover that up. However, what we have here is a wig that has a weft that's sewn on the inside, and then it was flipped to the outside, and now what we have is this little hump here that you're going to have to try to cover. And I'm telling you right now, this is not going to be able to be done with a thin amount of hair, but we're going to be able to see that when I try to put it on here in a second. Now, another thing when it comes to a thin part is the fact that it is completely breathable. So I can get my hands and get right to my scalp, massage it, scratch it, bring great relief to it, no problem. On this wig here, you'll see that's just not an option. There's no way you can get your fingers through there, and so you're gonna be like using bobby pins and toothpicks and whatever else you can find to try to relieve your itchy scalp. So unfortunately, if you invest in this thinking that you're receiving a thin part wig that's super unproblematic, then you're gonna have your feelings hurt. So please remember that if you're searching thin part wig or just finding a company on Instagram or AliExpress and it's not Innovative Weaves and Wigs, you're likely not getting anything close. I will say for the second company that we have here, they did a tiny bit better of a job trying to create the breathability. However, if I took off my current wig and compared it to this one, you'd see that this one has so many wefts on it and tracks that it's gonna be a little bit more difficult, though not impossible. And so at the top, like the other company, what they've done is they've taken a track, sewn it on the inside as well, and then flipped it over. Unfortunately, that also comes with these little pokey hairs right here that are going to end up sticking up, and that's just going to be an issue within itself. And so this wig, I'm gonna be honest, was quite costly. Probably, I think there's a couple of thin part wigs you can get for less than what this one costs. Now, I'm all about bringing the positive energy, so if I had to say something kind about this wig, it does have some pretty curls. However, is this a $500 wig? Absolutely not. Okay, things stopped recording, so we're just gonna jump right on in. This is the first wig that I showed you guys, and I have the same exact leave out that I used on my thin part wig. And I am taking this wig and I'm going to clip it at the top of my head. One thing that I noticed pretty quickly was that the clip is about ½ an inch behind the rest of the wig, and so I have this little floppy thing at the front but I was able to get it clipped on. It was difficult just because I was trying to get it as close to that part as possible, and I did have a bit of a lump in the back of the wig. Now, I mentioned before that I knew it would be pretty much impossible in order to get this to cover with a small amount of leave out. I really think you need a whole lot of hair, which makes it pretty much a U-part wig. But you see, I'm using that same exact leave out for my thin part, and I'm trying my best to cover this because I really want to be fair about it all. But hey, it's just not possible with this knockoff thin part wig. And guys, let me just say, I am a custom wig maker and I can duplicate just about anything. But with this thin part wig, that's not really something you want to try to create just because it is so particular in the way it's made. All right, let's go to the second wig. Now, I did mention this one was a bit more breathable, but it's not fully breathable due to the fact that it does have netting on the sides and at the top as well. I was able to get it clipped on, but like the other wig, it was impossible to use that thin amount of hair and cover the top without the lump showing. Truly guys, if you're trying to recreate a thin part wig, it's impossible to do that by taking a weft and taking it and folding it over and doing a loopy-loop. It's just not going to work. And so this company actually was saying it is a patent pending project, and so it was really confusing to a lot of customers. So just remember, if you're looking for a thin part wig, it has to come from Innovative Weaves and Wigs. Another crazy thing about this wig is that it is so expensive, and yet the attention to detail just isn't there. But you'll see more about that in that clip that I had a problem with later on in this video. But first, let me reinstall my thin part wig. You'll see that I'm just going to take that little clip, place it in the back, and then I'm going to line everything else back up. Now, I will also say that my leave out, I've manipulated it so much through these videos that it's not blending perfectly like it is when I'm just throwing on my wig to go. So right there, I've got the hair down, and now I'm just going to take my part and I'm going to split it over, and you're going to see that it's just really nice and smooth. I did pull down pretty hard on my left side, so you saw a tiny bit of the top of my wig, but for the most part, once I fixed my part, then after that, you could see that it was nice and smooth and pretty flat, and my leave out really blends very well. I did want to go ahead and show you guys a picture of what my leave out looks like on this beautiful wig when I'm able just to do my leave out and roll with it. But because I was constantly putting wigs on and off and recording and re-recording, I did have a little bit of a hiccup there, but for the most part, I think you get the idea of just how well this wig blends and lays flat when you have that small leave out. Now, another benefit of the thin part wig is that you actually don't even have to have a leave out. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm teasing my root because I am going to go and show you guys what all three of these wigs look like when you don't have a leave out. I'm going to actually start with my thin part wig this time. I was able just to put it on, line it up, and then clip it in. And without the extra finessing, it still looked pretty quite natural. However, I'm going to go ahead and take my little tool and I'm going to tease the roots, and then we're going to look up closely at what it looks like when you're wearing your natural part with your thin part wig. And here we are with the still shot. There's definitely area for me to go ahead and tease a little bit more, but because I am going to wear this wig with my leave out, I'm gonna leave it just like that, and then next time, you guys, when I fully install, I'll show you what it looks like. But as we continue, I'm going to take the little curly wig and I am going to try to get as close to my part as I possibly can, because again, the benefit of a thin part wig, especially the curly one, is that you can wear it with absolutely no leave out. And so if this company is advertising a thin part wig, we should be able to do that. But as you can see, it's not possible, yo. However, I'm still going to attempt to tease these roots and make it look as natural as possible. But at the end of the day, it just is not a thin part wig, and it's just super misleading for companies to claim that when it's not. But when we know better, we can do better. So be careful out there on AliExpress now. Again, if you're looking for a U-part wig, maybe it's okay, but not for a thin part wig. All right, I think I put you through enough with that one. Let's take that one off and go to the second one. Guys, I was specifically surprised by this company right here. I definitely expect like companies from AliExpress to try to create dupes, but this one is from someone here in the United States. The wig was super expensive and the attention to detail just wasn't there. First of all, I had a hard time getting the wig on because the clip was not even on correctly. Usually that's not a big deal, but for $500, you would expect the clips to be on properly. And besides that, it was just impossible to bring it together like a thin part wig, guys. It's not a horrible wig, but it's definitely not a thin part, and that leads to trust issues. Well, guys, there we have it. So be sure, if you are looking for a thin part wig, wanting to take advantage of all of the benefits, then make sure you're at innovativeweavesandwigs.com. And you can always use discount code SOWIGGEDOUT. Let them know I sent you. And of course, if you have any questions, just drop them down below. I'm gonna go ahead and put my my thin part wig on my head now. All right, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Until next time, goodbye.